So in this class, we will basically see the NORO logic and the Jeeper logic. So in the previous class, we have seen the domino logic. So in domino logic, we have seen like it is having the configuration like this will be a configuration. Here an inverter will be used. This inverter will be reducing the cascading problem of the domino logic. Similarly, there is another problem in the domino logic that is called your charge leakage, or you can say charge sharing basically here at the dynamic node. So this is your dynamic node. Okay, so at this dynamic node, whatever charge is present, that charge keeps on decreasing because of the charge sharing problem that we have discussed in the previous class. So that charge sharing problem, to avoid the charge sharing problem in the domino logic, what we will be doing, the same, we will be using a keeper transistor. So this is the structure. So we'll see here. Okay. So this is the structure of your domino logic. So basic domino logic is there. Okay. So this is your domino logic. In that, if charge sharing problem is there, so we will be charge sharing problem. So for the charge sharing problem, we will be using another transistor that is called keeper transistor. So that we have seen already in the previous class. So this PMOS transistor will be connected at this dynamic node, because in charge sharing, whatever voltage is there available at the soft node, at dynamic node, that gets shared between the capacitance at this node and along with the capacitance at any node where a particular transistor is on. Then this will be a, suppose at that point, if there is a capacitor C1 and here it will be C load, or you can say C2 is there. So because of, if this one is on, okay, so if this is on and this is off, so there will be a connection like whatever node voltage is there, suppose that is VDD. So this VDD gets shared between C1 capacitor and C2 capacitor. So to avoid this, like once the sharing of voltage will be taking place, then this voltage value will be decreased. So once this decrease in voltage value at dynamic node is called the charge sharing problem. So to avoid this charge sharing problem, we will be using a keeper transistor. Okay, this is called the keeper transistor. We have seen that in the previous class also, and its input, that is gate terminal, will be connected to the inverter output. So once the one is there, then here like VDD, that is high logic, is there, then at that time here it will be a 0. At this 0 will be making this transistor to on. Okay, when this transistor is on, this will make a connection between VDD and this dynamic node. So there will always be a VDD value at this dynamic node. There will be no charge sharing problem taking place. Okay. So this keeper transistor is used to avoid the charge sharing in domino logic. Similarly, we will see the next topic, that is a NORO logic. Okay. So NORO logic is the same, in the same way if we consider the domino logic. So in NORO logic, we will be basically avoiding the problems of the domino logic. So in domino logic, we have seen like one extra inverter is being used. Okay, and that in extra inverter is being used to remove the cascading problem, means to drive the higher loads at the output. We were basically connecting inverter to the domino logic. Okay, so in the NORO logic, we will basically modify that domino logic by removing its inverter use. Okay, so once we are going to have a configuration such that we are going to avoid the inverter use of inverter, so we will be having an optimized system, optimized logic for designing a particular circuit. So in NORO logic, the main advantage will be there will be no inverter, no extra inverter needed. There is no need of an extra inverter. Okay. Along with that, it will use NMOS logic and PMOS logic, PMOS network we call it. We NMOS network, NMOS and PMOS networks. Both networks will be used for designing of the logics. Okay. So in case of neurologic, PMOS and NMOS network will be used for designing the logic circuit. So in the domino logic, of the logic was designed because of only the, this is your clock. So input will be there. This is the NMOS logic, and from there we will be taking the output. And this output is will be connected to inverter, and there will be a keeper transistor, another one. This will be the final domino structure. Okay, by removing the charge sharing and along with the cascading problem. But in this domino logic, there will be a requirement of an extra inverter. So by removing this inverter, and also we will be cascading different dynamic stages. These stages will be further uh, uh, combined together, and these, the first one is NMOS logic. Okay, then in the neurologic, this logic, whatever the next stage will be there, that will be made up of PMOS logic. Okay, so in neurologic, we will be going to use NMOS logic as well as the PMOS logic, and that by avoiding the use of inverters. Okay, so we will see that what is the structure of a neurologic look like. So this is the configuration of a neurologic. So here an NMOS logic is there, same configuration is there. One precharge transistor will be there, PMOS transistor. Another one is NMOS transistor that will be activated when the evaluation phase will be taking place. And along with that, the next stage will be whatever output is there. If NMOS logic is there, then its output will be taken from the drain terminal. Okay, so it will be the drain output. From the upper side, we will be taking the output, and this output will be considered as input to the next stage. Okay, and the next stage will be made up of PMOS logic instead of NMOS logic. The next stage will be made up of PMOS logic, and the upper side it will be having a PMOS transistor, and at the downside it will be having an NMOS transistor. So here, this is the first one logic that is made up of NMOS transistors, and this is made up of PMOS transistors. We call it pull down network, and this is your pull up networks. So we call it other. This is made up of pull down network. This is pull up network. Okay. So this is the first stage and second stage, and the next stage will be again the, if it is PMOS stage is the second one. The third one will be again the NMOS logic. NMOS logic will be used. Okay. Similarly and same as the continuous structure will be there. Okay. So the only difference is like, suppose if we are going to use this structure, so these inverters are not required in this case. Okay, but suppose if you want to cascade one NMOS stage, N logic stage to another NMOS logic stage, then we will be using an inverter to again connect an NMOS logic. Okay, so that means these inverters are basically used to make this neurologic compatible with the domino logic. Okay, so this inverters make neurologic, is neurologic to the domino logic. Okay, so once these inverters are not there, then also it will be the structure, but this is the complete structure, and this complete structure will be combining the first stage that is made up of NMOS logic, another one is the PMOS logic, and alternate NMOS and PMOS logics will be connected in case of NOR logic. Okay, so what is the advantage of this? One more thing we need to see. So here clock is 5, and for the next stage the clock is 5 bar, that is complement of the first stage. Again in the third stage the same 5 clock will be used, and similarly if there is a fourth stage it will be using the 5 bar. Okay, so this is how the connections, the stage connections will be taking place in NOR logic. So we will see what are the advantages of connecting this. So the first disadvantage is it will not be requiring an inverter, because this inverter is only considered here to just make NOR logic compatible with the terminal logic. If there is no need of inverter, because alternate NMOS and PMOS stages are being used. The second advantage is it gives us like an architecture that is pipelined architecture. Okay. So how the pipelining will be taking place? Okay. So here the pipeline architecture will be used. So pipeline means that pipelining can be explained by this. Okay. So here, suppose the clock is there, the 5 clock is there. So if this 5 is 0, okay, for some time it will be 0, and for the rest similar number of times it will be having 0 and 1 logics. So if it is 0, the clock is 0, at that time the NMOS logic will be having this NMOS logic will be going to the pre-charge stage. Okay, so this point will be pre-charged. If it is 0, this PMOS will be activated, similar to the domino, it will be activated, and it will be pre-charging this node. Okay, of the first stage. But in the second stage, this is 5 bar. So if this is 5 bar, so as 5 is 0, so 5 bar will be 1. So 1 will be connected to PMOS. So this PMOS will be off. Okay, so this PMOS will be off, and at that time this is 1, so it will be on. If this is 1, so this will be off, and this is 1, so it will be on. So at that time this is PMOS logic. Okay, so PMOS logic will be pre-discharge, because this is on, that means this node voltage will be connected to ground. Okay, and in that case in the first stage this node voltage, that is dynamic node, is connected to VDD. That means in the first stage the NMOS logic will be pre-charged, so NMOS stage will be pre-charged. But in the second stage the PMOS logic the PMOS stage will be pre-discharge. So it is pre-charge, this one is pre-charge because it is charged to VDD. Okay, but this one will be discharged to 0, so that's why it is called PMOS will be pre-discharge. Okay, and when the clock is 1, both will be evaluating, both will be working in evaluation mode. Okay, so this is your evaluation mode. So here two logics are cascaded. So one NMOS logic and PMOS logic, and both will be working when clock is 1, and both will be either pre-charged or pre-discharged when clock is 0. Okay, so both the logics are going to work together, okay, for the same time. That's why it is called pipelining architecture. Okay, so this is this NOR logic will be giving you out the pipelined architecture. Okay, so as there is no inverter into this NOR logic, it is called like it is having a direct coupling. So as there is no inverter connected, okay, so the first is the connection between the first stage and the second stage is considered to be a direct coupled. So it is called direct coupled structure, okay, or direct coupled, or we call it direct cascading, okay. And we already know this structure, this inverter is giving you the compatibility with the domino also, because a domino stage is always made up of only the NMOS logic. So if inverter is there, then that inverter output can be considered as the logic to drive another NMOS logic. So it can have a compatibility with the domino logic also. This is the generalized structure, like how we can implement it. So here, and NAND logic is being implemented. So suppose this is A, B is there, okay. So A, B is there, so A plus B logic will be implemented here, and this first stage will be connected to the second one. Second one is having a PMOS logic that is in parallel, okay. So here this is A and B, similar to its complement will be here. So whatever logic is here at this point, the same complement is considered to be here. So, and the next stage, so these three are different. Logic 1, like it is logic 1, this is logic 2, and this is logic 3. So three different logics are being connected here. So this is how a generalized structure will be looking like by using the neurologic, if we are going to use the neurologic for designing a particular circuit. So we have seen just the advantage in terms of the advantage, the static inverters. So this why it is called static inverter, whatever inverter we are going to use in this is an static inverter. So they are called static inverters because these static inverters means the inverters that will not be having a dependence on the clock, first of all, like it is not directly connected to the clock, and along with that it will be having its output will be considered at the steady state. State value will be the value will be the output, okay. That will value we will be focusing basically here. What is the intermediate or the switching voltages are there, switching points or switching nodes voltages are there, that we will not be focusing. We will be only focusing on the uh, steady state value. Whatever the steady state of value of this inverter is there, that will be used in the operation of the circuit. That's why it is called the static inverters, okay. So also, oh, so the advantages we have seen already. So there are another disadvantage also of this uh, neurologic. So the disadvantage of this neurologic is considered to be it suffers from charge sharing, okay, and the leakage problem. So in neurologic, the charge sharing and leakage problem will be taken. So to avoid this charge sharing and leakage problem into the neurologic, we will be going to use the Jeeper CMOS logic. Okay. So the next CMOS logic, that is a Jeeper logic, will be an logic that will be removing the disadvantages of your neurologic. And this neurologic is having this as the clock. The clocking in the neurologic will be similar to this. So this type of clocking is will be used for the structure. So the structure of the neurologic is considered as clocked clogged CMOS logic. So this is called clogged CMOS, or we call it C square MOS. C square MOS. Okay. So why it is? Because in the CMOS there were complemented structures were there. The NMOS logic and PMOS logic were working in complemented version. But here the complemented form is there, but that is having complemented with the clock. That's why this structure Nora CMOS logic is considered to be a clogged CMOS structure. Okay, clogged CMOS logic. The next circuit we will be seeing, that is called the Jeeper circuit. So into the Jeeper circuit, as we have seen, it will be the circuit similar to the same the neurologic. They will be having a similar structure. It is similar to the Nora structure. Okay. But it is going to remove the charge sharing and the leakage problem that is taking place into the neurologic. So that to remove that, in the cheaper CMOS logic, the clock scheme that it will be using is requires that generate slightly different clock signal for pre-charge and the pre-charge of the transistors, and also the pull down transistor. So here it will be using a separate clocking scheme than the previous that we have seen. So in the domino logic, it was using a single clock in all the domino structures, whatever stages will be there. But in the neurologic, it was using a single clock, but in the inverting and non-inverting mode, in both mode. But in Jeeper circuits, it will be using two different clocks. Okay, so two different clocks will be used in the Jeeper structure, and it will be having structure similar to the neurologic only. So the similar structure is there. One was there. Okay, so NMOS logic is there. Again, it will be PMOS logic, then again NMOS logic, and so on. So this is the generalized structure of Jeeper circuit, Jeeper CMOS logic. So in that we can see the clocking. What is the clock? So here the first stage PMOS is having 5-1 as a clock. Xi1. Okay, this one is 5. So again in the opposite direction it will be 5-2. Okay, as Xi2, and it's here it is complemented of the 5, that is 5R. Again the same clock will be repeated again. So this will be again the Xi1, then 5, and the next stage will be 5R, and the okay. So this is how the clocking will be taking place. So we will see what is the difference between the clocking of these two structures, and how the advantages of this clocking will be taking place into the Jeeper structure. Okay. So here, based on the operating of transistors here, to make the NMOS and PMOS discharge and pre-charge transistors, uh, to make here NMOS and PMOS transistors, pre-charge and discharge transistors work in basically in weak conduction or the near cutoff region. Okay, during the evaluation phase, in the same similar working will be there. It will be once it is having a value that is clock is 0, and again it will be considered as 1 and 0 1. So this is like pre-charge phase, and this will be in the evaluation phase, similarly pre-charge and evaluation. Okay, so the complemented clocks are being used. So here two different clocks are used. So the first one is like it is initially 0, so both will be 0. But when 5-1 we are going to use, so 5-1 will be having a value that will be VDD minus mod of VTP. Okay, that is having a lesser value. Its magnitude is less. But the 5 that is having a high value, so this high value will be, when in the evaluation mode it will be high. Okay, so as this is in the high mode, so we can see whatever whenever we are going to have the NMOS logic to consider the inputs of the NMOS logic. So these are the inputs. To consider the inputs of the NMOS logic in while in the evaluation phase. So in the pre-charge phase, the clock will be 0. So pre-charge phase, all the clocks will be having the similar structure. Okay. So in this case, the first one should be a pre-charge, and this one should be pre-discharge. So for pre-discharge 5-2, should be 1, okay, and or xi1, this one will be 0. So here this one is 0 and this one is 1. So it will be making the NMOS logic to pre-charge and PMOS logic to pre-discharge. Okay, that is the pre evaluation phase stage is there. So in the pre-evaluation phase, it is similar to the neurologic structure. But in the evaluation phase, so in the evaluation phase in the neurologic, we were having the single clock. Okay, so single clock was there, but here two different clocks are used. So one clock will be this one phi. In the evaluation phase, this phi, this transistor should be on, and similarly in the evaluation phase of PMOS logic, the transistor that should be on is your this one. Okay, so at that time, if this is we can say on, then at that time whatever configuration is there, based on this configuration, the input configuration, the value will be changing place. Okay, changing. Okay, this is the phi. Okay, so once this phi 1 is there, so this phi 1 will be going maximum to VDD minus VTP. So what is this is all about? So here it will be conducting in the weak conduction region or near the cutoff region. So the output that we will be getting is having a less effect on the voltage that is going to change at the node voltages. Okay, so whatever the node voltages are there, so it will be changing with respect to the node voltage. So once the phi value is VDD, sorry, the phi value is VDD, that means this transistor, the NMOS transistor, will be uh, maximally will be at the on stage. It will be not having any voltage drop, because this NMOS logic is having strong logic for the one. So whatever one is there, so this one will be having a strong logic in that. And similarly in the case of phi, similarly in case of phi bar, so if this is on, that is okay, that will be get taking place the evaluation. Okay, but in the PMOS case, when phi bar is beyond, let's say VTN, this is the VTN, so VTN value is there, and this is maximum 0 value. So if this is 0 value, that will be on. So when this is 1, it will be 0. So this stage will be on, this evaluation will be taking place at this point, and this is on. Then with respect to the PMOS logic, whatever PMOS logic is there, the output will be decided at this point. So when the in the evaluation phase, uh, when which transistor is consisting the evaluation mode, so this one is there transistor and this one transistor, so it is going to have a, you could say, the maximum value that we can provide through the clock to make this transistor to be on. Okay, so here for NMOS, one maximum VDD is to be given. Similarly for PMOS, this value should be 0. I can say it is 0. It will be having a better operating of this transistor to be in on mode. Okay, if it is having some voltage greater than this, then it will be making the problem of this transistor to be in the evaluation phase. So evaluation phase, always the in case of PMOS transistor, NMOS transistor, 1 should be the input, and in case of PMOS transistors, the 0 should be the input. So that's why the phi, that is first clock, is there. So this clock is having a minimum value 0 and maximum value 1. Similarly, if it is maximum value is 0, or it's opposite is maximum value is 0 and minimum value is maximum value is minimum value is 0. It's opposite there. This is phi bar, and this is phi bar, and this is phi. Okay, so its opposite will be there. But once the evaluation has occurred, then there will be a pre-charge phase. So this is your pre-charge, or we call it pre-discharge. So the leakage problem that we will be considering, that will be in the form of pre-charge only. So in the pre-charge, leakage will be there. So once we are going to use a pre-charge clock, that is Xi1 and Xi2, so these two clocks will be connected such that its maximum value, so if it is going to be pre-charge, then this would be equals to 0. Okay, So this phi 1 should be equals to 0. At that time, this will be making this pre-charge, and second time phi 2. So this is phi 2. So this will be a 0. Sorry, the VDD value. So this will be making the pre-charge. But while the evaluation will be taking place, this phi 1 has made to a value higher. Okay, so this higher value is such that we are going to make these transistors to be working in uh, near to the cutoff region. Okay, so we will be minimizing the current, or you can say the leakage current flowing through the transistors. Okay, similarly in case of phi 2 we are going to use the phi 2 value that is near to the threshold voltage value of this PMOS and NMOS transistor. Similarly, this will be the near to the threshold voltage of this uh, PMOS transistor, so that during the evaluation phase we are going to make this discharge and pre-charge transistors to work in the near threshold region. Okay, so this will be making sure like there is a minimum leakage current, minimum leakage current flow. So this minimum leakage current will be reducing the leakage power dissipation in case of the neurologic that is there. So the clocking scheme is the only advantage in the deeper transistor, deeper mode operating. So the clocking will be provided such that the leakage current in the evaluation phase, whatever leakage transistors, so leakage will be consisting of this transistor in the evaluation and this transistor in the evaluation. So this transistors will be provided with the logic that will be making these transistors to be operating in near the threshold voltage, so that will be reducing the leakage. So this is how the leakage can be reduced into the domino than the NORA, because in NORA there was a problem of leakage current. Okay, and similarly the charge sharing, if we are dealing with, the charge sharing will be uh, again uh, reduced by the same logic, like we are going to use the keeper. Once we are going to use the keeper, or we can say we are going to make this transistor such that this nodes will be having this, that will be taking place in the evaluation, sorry, the pre-charge phase. The charge sharing were basically when the pre-charge phase will be there, the node voltage will be having a high value. In that case, we will be making sure like it is using the keeper transistors to have their mode of operation to reduce the charge sharing problem. Okay, so these are the uh, comparison between static and dynamic circuits, so that we have already seen. So just go through it. And the next topic is the last topic of this unit. We will see that. So the next topic in this unit is the BiCMOS logic. Okay, so here, as the name suggests, it is BiCMOS. So here bi stands for bipolar transistor, that is called BJT, and the CMOS is already, you know what is CMOS, so it is already the CMOS. So here any logic that can be designed by using the BJTs as well as the CMOS logic. Okay, so in this case we will see like what is the advantage of CMOS logic. We will see. So what is the advantage of CMOS logic? Yes, it is having low power dissipation, high density. High density means high chip density basically, and high noise margin. So these are the basic advantages of the CMOS logic. And the advantage of BJTs. What is the advantage of BJT? So the advantage of BJT is high speed. High speed and better, that is I call better current driving capability. So in case of BJT, the advantage is it is having a high speed, or we call it the better current driving capability. It can handle the larger load. Means it can handle the larger load. So this BJTs can handle a larger load. So we are going to combine the BJT and the CMOS to form a bi-CMOS logic. So after combining the BJTs and CMOS, it will be having a logic that is called bi-CMOS logic, and this bi-CMOS logic will be having a combined properties of these two. Okay, so that will be having a low power dissipation, high density, high noise margin will be there, speed will increase, and also it will be having a better current driving capability. That means it can handle large number of loads. Okay, so large number of capacity loads. Okay, so here loads is always considered to be in terms of the capacitance only. So capacitance value is very large in terms of the load, and instead of resistance also. So we generally focus on the capacity loads. Okay, so we will be making the bi-CMOS logic by combining best of the both worlds. That means what is the best of BJT and what is best of CMOS. We are going to combine it to form the bi-CMOS logic. Okay, so it will be having the combined properties of these two. So, and one of the most important will be the driving capability. So it can handle a large on and off chip. Okay, so on and off chip capacitance, or we call it on and off chip load, or we call it capacity load. It will be capacitive load. So it can drive better or high on and off chip load. So what is on chip load? Basically on chip load, or we call it on chip capacitance. Another one is off chip. So that means it is on chip load or capacitance. So it is the capacitance that is available on the chip, or the capacitance generated, or the capacitance generated by the parasitic capacitances of the transistor that is connected. Basically it is the parasitic capacitances. Okay, but off chip load, that is the external load. Whatever external load connected, external capacitive load connected to a particular chip, that will be considered the off chip load. So the advantage of this most we can say the most important advantage of bi-CMOS is like it can handle the higher on and off chip loads. Okay, capacity loads. This is the example of a bi-CMOS inverter circuit. So this is having a bi-CMOS inverter circuit where four MOSFETs are used and two BJTs will be used to design an inverter. So this is a bi-CMOS logic based inverter structure. Okay. So here, whatever current is there, so at the output, the current will be basically because of this BJTs. So at the output, whatever next stage we are going to connect, whatever next stage we are going to connect, that will be drive by the output of the BiCMOS logic. So that output will be having a current, better current or large current, because of this BJT is connected at the output. Okay, so that can stage for the next stage, it can handle a better next stage. Okay, large number of next stage, or you can call it, its fan out will be high. We call it the fan out is high. So we can call it the fan out will be high in case of the BiCMOS logic. And this is how the connections will be there. Okay. Similarly, once we have seen the advantages, there will be some disadvantage also in case of the BiCMOS logic. So the one of the most important disadvantage of this BiCMOS is it will be having a complex, you can say, a complex fabrication process. Okay. So because if we are going to implement the CMOS logic, the simple CMOS is having a simpler fabrication. But in case of BJTs, it is having a complex fabrication. And even if if we are going to combine these two transistors, we are going to have these two at the same time, these BJTs and along with the CMOS logic, both are going to be fabricated on a single chip or a single wafer. We call it single substrate. On a single substrate, we are going to implement a BJT and CMOS. It will be having a more complex fabrication steps, because BJTs are having some other steps to design or to fabricate the BJTs, but the steps required for CMOS are having some other steps and processes for fabrication of CMOS. So that's why after combining these two, there will be a complex fabrication step required for the fabrication of BiCMOS. But we will see like what are the different, but there are some steps that are common to both BJTs and the CMOS logic. So in that many of the steps that we will be going to see that having the same steps. So for example, we can see the the process used to create NVEL. So NVEL or NTUB we create in the CMOS logic to on a p-type substrate to create a p-type MOSFET. Okay, so PMOS, for PMOSFET creation, for PMOS we generally use NVEL structure onto a p-type substrate to design this PMOS. Okay, but similarly, the same NVEL structure can be to create the N-type collector region, okay, of a NPN bipolar transistor. Okay, so just the NVEL structure and the deposition of this NVEL after creation of NVEL, the PMOS creation is having the similar structure, or you can say similar method that is followed uh, for the creation of collector into the NPN transistor. In the NPN transistor, this NVEL creation will be having the same relation. Okay, so that can be not causing any problem, or you can say the complexity in the fabrication. And also the drain and source diffusion that we do in the CMOS process, the similar structure can be used to deposit, you can say, the emitter region into the emitter and the base region into the BJTs also. So the diffusion step that is used to design, you can fabricate this source and drain into the CMOS can have the same method. We can use the same diffusion method to deposit the emitter region and the base region into the BJTs. Okay, so most of the operations, most of the fabrication steps are similar, but the only difference is that is having some different structure is that is the creation of base region. So whatever base region is there, the creation of base region is different in case of BJTs, because that there is no such structure is made up of into the CMOS fabrication step. So there is no extra step. So in BJTs, these step will be required separately. So that will be a separate step that cannot be routed, that is used into the CMOS. Okay. So all other steps are similar in the fabrication. So in fabrication point of view, its fabrication will be quite complex than the CMOS logic. This is how the fabrication should be taking place. So here we can see like how the fabrication takes place. So a single P type substrate will be taking a complete P type substrate is there. The whole area is a P type substrate. Here we are going to deposit an NPN BJT, NPN transistor we are going to fabricate, and PMOS transistor is going to fabricate, and NMOS transistor is going to fabricate. So NMOS transistor will be fabricated on the P type substrate. As we have taken the P type substrate, we can directly deposit N region and N plus region to N plus region for source and drain, and then oxide and gate we can deposit, and we can have a NMOS region. Okay, so NMOS is created. Similarly, to create a PMOS on the same substrate, we have to deposit an NVL structure. So this is your NVL structure. Okay. So once we have deposited an NVL structure, in that we can deposit the P plus region and P plus region for source and drain, and then oxide and the gate. That will be how the PMOS should be fabricated. So while fabricating the BJTs, here we will create an into the PMOS. Sorry, this is P substrate. Into the P substrate, we will be creating an NVL. That NVL will be considered as the this NVL will be considered as the collector region. Okay, so that NVL will be N type. So another doping will be there. This N plus doping will be used for collector terminal. Okay, and in that NVL we will be having a P type substrate. This is P type substrate is there. Into that N plus and N plus and P plus will be deposited. So this N plus and P plus, with this N plus will be emitter and P plus will be your base. So this is how the fabrication of different transistors can be done into a single substrate, P type substrate. Okay, so this is how the fabrications will be taking place of BiCMOS logic. Okay, so this is the basic of BiCMOS logic. So I hope you have got the point. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, we will close. Okay, that is the total fourth, or sorry, the third unit is there. So if you have any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, we will close.